I know you're fighting a good fight, Dan, every place. Let me ask you a question. Now, you want to take civil action, right? That's your next step, correct? And you're looking for a lawyer who actually has the integrity and an understanding of the Constitution, who can actually file this case. Am I understand that correctly?
100%.
Yeah,
100% correct.
My language, by the way. I can never say understanding. Okay. Do I comprehend that correctly? That's what you want to do. You want to file suit, correct?
Absolutely, 100% correct. I don't mind being the sacrificial lamb if it's going to do something. I even offered whoever would help. I'd like to put 80% of the proceeds, after I've been compensated for my damages, back into the system to reform officers and state prosecutors on the Constitution to start enforcing it. Now, I know that's not as good as a blink to a blind creature, but I feel to myself, I'm a father and grandfather. One day when I go to get still and leave and go to the next life or the great red path or whatever, maybe there's nothing, I don't know. But whatever there is, I don't want to lay down one day and get ready to be still for the last time, knowing my children had hell to fight because I didn't do anything. My grandchildren and my great-grandchildren taken from my children and grandchildren because I didn't have the testicular fortitude or the spirit to stand up and do what I should have done for my children and grandchildren. I'm not preaching to the choir. I just want Americans to do that thing that their father and grandfather and my father did. Stand up and do something.
You know, I'll tell you something. I think about this a lot, and I want to make sure to take the time, even though they mess with my stuff a little bit, because you know what? They know that we're doing all we can to constantly get out the truth, and I want to put something on people a little bit, because we talk about this document, the Declaration of Independence. Now, just if you just realize what it's saying, just in the title, it's already something you have to stop and listen to. You are declaring that you are independent. Now, when this document was written, and then they printed it up, this document was put on the door of every single person in the colonies. Everybody knew their rights. Now, there's something in this that I think is essential to where we're at now. And people usually know, like the first line, we hold these truths to be self-evident, right? But this is what I want. Where is it at here? It talks about, no. I want to make sure I have this right, because it is so paramount to what we're talking about. Hey, Lisa, talk to Ron for a minute. Give me a second.
Okay. So, Ron, so while we're doing that, what would help you? Like, what kind of attorney or what kind of help are you looking for that will help your case?
Well, I know for a fact that any attorney that's working for the bar will jeopardize his career and his good standing. All attorneys, all lawyers that hear what I just now said know that's a fact. You don't use the bathroom where you eat, the old saying goes. And so that is kind of what's going on right here. I need either a retired judge or retired attorney, or somebody that can just get in front of a magistrate, or somebody that, or maybe not a magistrate, maybe a grand jury foreman, okay, and that would be able to pull some strings and get with some people to get this case in front of somebody who is honoring their oath of office. Really, anyone.
So multiple judges, right? Multiple would be good, right? If some good judges stood up and fought for
absolutely.
you. Okay.
Absolutely.
And then the other thing is, go ahead. Ron. Sorry. No, you go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, as soon as if someone is honoring their oath of office out there and not afraid, and probably retired, then this would probably be something for you, because I'm not a miser, I'm not a cheapskate. I will compensate in writing whoever can help. But I just want the message to get out there, a lot of what's happened to me, so that other people don't fall into the same hole. You've got to get out of the state's jurisdiction. You've got to renounce your CUSIP number and your voter registration card. And this is probably something that should be researched by everybody, because taking yourself out of their citizenship comes with a positive side and a negative side. People go, yeah, well, I live on a fixed income. How do I get my check every month? And other people go, yeah, well, we got to go to school. These things right here can be handled in a courtroom. You don't have to lose these things. The state cannot punish you for not jumping through their hoops for things that have been afforded to you already. The things that are afforded to you, people need to start studying. Because what they're going to do is make it to where nobody wants to talk about it and touch this case because it is so high profile. It's been all over the news, all over the country. I have people from other states telling me, your name come up in the courtroom today. I have a recording of it. Your name was on the news again today. They keep calling me a sovereign citizen. First of all, I'm not a sovereign and I'm not a citizen. I don't work for the government and I'm not part of their citizenry. But the more people that would become educated, the more that they talk about my case, see the proof that I have, sworn statements, transcripts and discovery. Anyone who looks at this paperwork of my case in under 30 minutes is going to go, this is probably landmark. He's got a cut and dry case on these guys. I made sure that when they started to trump up charges on me, that I baited them. And when I say I baited them, I didn't say or do anything that was wrong. I didn't lie. I didn't deceive them. I just let them go ahead with their statutes, codes, and ordinances because I was going to cinch sack the whole bag of snakes, and I did. Now I just have to get people to look into it, whether laymen, clergymen, daily, whoever it is, just look into the case, read it a little bit, and go, this has happened all over the country. The same thing that has happened to me has happened to millions of other people, and no one wants to talk about it. They're afraid to because the bar is the mafia. The bar is the only criminal gang in this country that owns everything. There's not one gang member, there's not one militia, there's not one paramilitary group that hasn't had a run-in with the law over a traffic ticket.
Right, exactly.
You know,
Tim,
hi.
are you back?
Hey,
I'm here.
Can I interject? This is Dan Lutz. I did.
Hey, Dan.
Hey,
Huh?
I jumped on here. So been listening to Ron here. I do have a lawyer, not an attorney, a lawyer that will go after these type of cases and does so successfully.
Bless your heart, Dan. I need to get your information, buddy.
All right.
We'll get you hooked
We'll
up,
pass
Dan
it
and I.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, we're constantly trying to fight these things. Now, thank you, Dan.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I want to point out to everybody, in the listening audience, now and in the future, these things are essential components to changing the world, and I'm going to explain. If you want to have this amazing, incredible world that all these love and light workers talk about, all these different people, now there are things that you put in place to ensure you can have that world and that you can keep it. But one of the things that is most essential is that we need a lawful system that acknowledges the actual law of the land. And the law of the land here in America is the Constitution. Now, with that in mind, and what you are talking about in this case, the reason why it is so controversial is because they have already established that they are lawless and they do not respect the Constitution by the very fact that they put Mr. Davis in jail to begin with. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing is that this is a billing system. Anytime you see a bar attorney, they are bill collectors. That's what they're doing. They're there to get the warrant. They're working for the court. They're bringing all these bail bonds. All this is just ways to keep the financial system going. And they all take their cut. As long as they play their part, they take their cut. Now, that is a fact, and it can easily be proven. Now, the hard part is when you're trying to prove something against lawyers who specialize in manipulating the law, it's very hard to get them on anything, right? But here's the reality. They have no jurisdiction. Now, Ron, you might not know this, but I'm telling you this is true. That here, that the corporate structure known as the United States has been relieved of duty. There is no contract that allows them to control and to impose these UCC laws anymore. The sovereignty of the Republic of the United States for America.
Okay, there's a little bit of backfeed on you.
I don't know what I can do about it.
Okay, let's clear the air here.
The sovereignty has been returned. So with that in mind, I'll stop talking because obviously it's not going to be effective, but the sovereignty has actually been returned to America, which in turn makes everyone here no longer bound by statutes which were unconstitutional in the first place. Now, man, I really want to read this one part. So I'm just, we'll see if it comes out. Look, everybody knows this part. It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. They are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And that to secure these rights, now this is what the purpose of governments are, to secure these rights. Governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. Never forget that, people. The governments draw their power from the governed. And that whenever any form of, now this is the part I want to point out, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, in other words, whenever the government starts to destroy our ability to have life, liberty, and to pursue happiness, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. That is the most important part of the whole Constitution of the Declaration of Independence. That sets the tone as to why we need to declare our independence again. And with that in mind, Ron, we are going to do more work with you. Dan, we're going to come on your show in just a minute. In the meantime, Lisa, can you shut it down?
Absolutely.
And go live with Dan?
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you, Ron. I love what you have to say. We're going to bring you on for lots of episodes. So thank you, everyone, for listening. And we'll be back.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Ron. Good night.
Good night.
Well, it looks like I'm just going to start streaming. I'm going to continue streaming here and get back on another video. Just give me a minute. Get this rolling. A little bit of juggling. I don't know if I should use the same Zoom. New Zoom. Let's find out. I'm going to call Lisa, see what she's setting up. Okay, Lisa didn't answer. It might be easier that way. Okay. Well, I don't know which way to go. If I launch one, they're launching one, and we have too many going. Let's me go. Let's see. I can't. What can I do? Oh, I know what I can do here. Let's see. not going to be on video, but I'll share my screen with what's going out. That might work. That's definitely something, but not exactly what I was looking for there. Get something up on there. And let's try something else. Now this is very WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. Coming across the video there. I see the chat, so let me see if I can just zoom one in, and we'll get into the chat. Right. More here. Capture. Size, so let me see if I can make this a little bit more. Yeah, it's close. Okay, now we got the chat there. If I make it bigger. Here. Can't read it. No, it's bigger. That looks good. I think we're set. All right. Well, hello everyone. I'll see how they're going to come on live over here. If we've got any questions. Hello everyone. Remember, put a Q and then the question. There's a Q. Before Coates leaving today, D class. Oh yeah, C before D. Yes. Coates leaving today. This is the last day of Dan Coates, so it will be D class after Coates leaves. So that's basically all there is to that. You know, he's the one that's standing in the way. You know, Clapper was in that position. You know, it's all about firewalls, right? Keeping the secret information for the shadow government. You know, the ones that are behind the scene, the secret safe department, 7th floor that Hillary set up. You know, they were all set to manage this thing from, you know, their hidden departments, right? Just so that no one would see them, right? And they just continue operating the governments. Meaning that apparatus was already structured and in place. And it wasn't just about being, you know, United States. It was worldwide. It was Five Eyes. It was, you know, China. It was around the whole world. Volume's low. Let's see if I can make that a little bit better. I gotta literally pull my my screen to about 6 inches away from my face to get louder. Let's see what that looks like. How's that? Is that better? Okay, good. Thank you. All right, Kathy, and everyone else. So let me see if I can see if I know where Tank wants to come in. Oh, there we go. They gave me a link.
Lisa.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, and there he is.
I
Dan.
I never stopped broadcasting from the last, the carryover from your show. So, you know, I just didn't.
Wouldn't let you log back into the same one. Yeah.
And you turned it off, Lisa, so that's probably why the connection stayed locked.
Oh, right. Yeah, and he's got his all predetermined, I think. So probably it's harder to create a new one.
Well, this was a little bit more, since I'm actually using another piece of software to broadcast with. So it really didn't matter if Zoom went away; I was still broadcasting. That's what happened that other day when everyone said, "Hey, you're still broadcasting."
You got to turn the off button on.
No, I did. I did turn it off. In fact, the software, according to my screen, was off. On the Apple screen, the icon bay over there, it wasn't running. But apparently, in the background, somewhere deep inside the bowels of the computer, there was something holding on and not letting go. So I had to actually
Deep bowels or the deep state, one or the other, holding on.
Well, they're close to the same thing there.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Let me see. What is my screen?
I
looking
love,
like
Tank,
here?
when you read the part that says the government draws their power from the governed. That's probably, I kind of get like the best feeling when you say that. It's like, don't we know that? I'm going to make a meme about that. We need to we need to bring that
I agree.
out and in the open.
Well, I mean, people wouldn't even know that, right? Because we're so used to being harassed by the same ones that we put into power. And then we have mercenaries who are posing as police officers who harass us for tickets while they bring fresh bodies to someone like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It is disgusting. It drives me crazy.
Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, if I went to a judge and I asked to have an inmate released into my custody, I always had them released entirely into my custody, and I became solely responsible for any of what.
Really? Well, my daughter lives in Ohio, so I'm going to keep that in mind, Archbishop, just in case she ever decides to,
I'm gonna keep that in mind too, Archbishop. I might give you a call. You're like, listen, I need to call my bishop.
I had a judge say to me in Cincinnati that the law of the Anglican Church, because the Constitution was built on the Anglican Church, as long as I represented the church, I could have anyone released into my custody, and I did every single time.
Wow.
Well, I think you should do that in all 50 states, is what I'm thinking.
I'd imagine it's in all 50 states, but I only dealt with those 3 states, so I don't know about the other states. But
Wow.
I had inmates released, on my say-so within my jurisprudence while I was in Cincinnati, and I ran a halfway house, and I had ex-cons that never completed their full terms. They were released into my custody.
Wow. If you say that on air, you might get a lot of phone calls. Collect calls, of course.
I'm in Canada now, and the laws in Canada don't seem to apply. The American laws don't apply here, I've been told.
Oh,
Yeah, they're 2 different countries. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So, all right. So, Dan, I'll tell you something, man. I'm letting you know right now, I am in a fighting mood after hearing everything that in a very positive way, by the way. See, some people would say, hey, you're resisting, you're stopping. Not at all. See, because the people deserve somebody who's willing to fight for them. That's the reality.
Yeah.
And after listening to Ron Davis, Ron the Bear, the long arm of the law, Davis, right? Anybody who hasn't seen that, you need to go listen to that man and listen to him talk, because you will be so fired up. Anybody listen to that and here in America, will feel like, my gosh, they are infringing on my constitutional rights all the time, and they act like it doesn't matter.
Tank,
Because
can you record on Zoom? I'm
I
sorry.
can record on Zoom.
Because you didn't give me that ability yet, and so I was going to do it for you, but sorry about that.
No, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you. Yeah, so a lot of stuff going on, Dan.
Well,
You
do-
able to pull out of your to pull out and get focused today, and from all the work you've been doing.
well, I got about 5 hours sleep, so that was good.
So do you have
5
any
hours
news?
sleep.
5 hours, is that a lot?
Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, considering
Wow.
what I was going through the last 2 weeks, it's been just maybe no sleep, which was the day before, or 2 hours or something like that. But anyway, it's that's all rolling. But on Ron Davis's conversation, I only came in at the tail end, but I recognize his energy of the things that he's been dealing with. The lawyers that I know, not attorneys, lawyers that I know that are taking these things on, they have to fight to get into court because they're not part of the bar, right? And they have to force their ability to be heard. And right now, I think that the cases, I think what they're doing is through just one particular state. I think it's New Hampshire, in which they're able to go through. It might be Connecticut. It's one of those where they're able to go ahead and stand and as a lawyer or someone who's practiced in the law is able to really argue, as opposed to the attornment system, attorneys to turn revenue over, to turn over these funds in the system. They are completely different systems. So getting into the law, you need to have a lawyer, and they do take on cases, and they go all the way to Supreme Court. They do it often. So they're always fighting.
Dan is in a windstorm. I'm sorry, Dan, but we're hearing more wind than you. I don't know if it's your fan, but
No, it's the wind coming off the lake. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you,
I'll be right back.
Those gentlemen, right, that are talking about that are able to do that. I put up 6 key components that I see to be the most essential things to launch immediately as funding comes in. And what I can say for a surety is that from various contacts around the world, the global banking is on the verge of collapse, so much so that they have had to bring in fake funds. Now, I confirmed this directly with the mandate for the Chinese elders who represented the Department of Finance and the Ministry of Finance and also the central bank in China. And she said outright that the numbers that Thomas put out 2 weeks ago now were about $300 million in the government, and also that the banks are on the verge of collapse. And also, she stated clearly, we all know that the money that's been being transferred by the Rothschild is fraudulent. So in other words, the Chinese elders and the IMF and all the organizations that are controlled by the Rothschild, as they once again start to put money out and try to claim that they're going to have a big currency revaluation, and all you suckers out there who are putting our fate in your hands because you don't want the people to have money so bad, you are going to destroy your own life because of it. And your children, because you're so damn vain and so egotistical, full of yourself, that you want to make sure that you have control of everything about life. You want to make sure that the most important thing in our society, in this world, is your mediocrity. So we never make any progress, and you hold all the secrets. And guess what? That's over. Because you are done. Because the money is going to be in the hands of the people come hell or high water. And you can keep doing what you're doing, and your life will be stressful every second, every hour of every day. Because we have already confirmed unequivocally the RV will never happen. And right now, everybody out there in RV land, in our land, I hate to break your heart on this, but I spoke to the Chinese elders myself. It will never happen. It will never happen. Not the Chinese elders, but the same group who is Chinese elders. Maybe not the top 3 evil bastards who are running this thing, but they told me outright that in the Chinese elders, the trustees on the Dragon Family Trust, right, who considers themselves the guardian of the world's assets, that's what they say, but that's not really what they do. And who's on that? They said the IMF and the Rothschild banks and the other Rothschilds. That's what they said. So everybody out there who's been, who still hasn't caught on to that reality, if you are invested in the RV and you're getting your banking information from Blue Wolf, or all the secrets of the RV, the people involved is Bruce from the Big Call and Blue Wolf, whose contacts are HSBC and Wells Fargo respectively. Those are their contacts, people, big shots in banks, who we all know have been trying to screw all of us over our whole lives. Now, on top of that, these banks have no power. All the back doors have been shut. They can't do anything except create fake ledgers that they're putting in false data and trying to transfer it around the world, which we had confirmed from other sources today. They had big transfers of nothing. No money. Because they're trying to say, once again, they're going to do the RV. They're not. The RV is not going to happen. It's never going to happen. What could happen, what they want to happen, is they want the world economy to collapse. And the only thing to do that, you think about it, if they let that happen, who do you think is going to get hurt? Them or us? Right?
The people are going to get hurt.
Yeah, they're going to devour us, right? They'll continue to live off of us, threaten us. And the reality is,
they've got their bunkers. They've got their houses that have 20 floors below ground, and security guards, and it's set up with food and power. They're ready to ride it out, right? They know that this was set up to collapse, and whether they're in New Zealand or in certain places around the world where they know they're going to come out and be dominant in like the 5 regions of America, right? Each one has a new king, right? So they have their bunkers ready to go. So they're ready to allow it to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen that way. I think that Trump has pretty much stopped this, and he's got the control of the economy, and they can't get it to fall. And with Kim behind Trump to make sure that there's money there, he's only going to force it into a position where the Federal Reserve looks like the bad private bank, and they say, why are we dealing with these guys? But
there's actually an article, Dan, that came out with that almost verbatim title.
Yeah,
I can
Lisa,
imagine.
Did you pull any news today? Anything
I did. I'm going to probably pull that one up. Let me find it here. There's actually an article that came out, and it was actually almost verbatim what Dan just said. It was the name of the title, so let me send that to you.
Did I write it?
You must have, Dan. It had something to do with you. Oh, and also London's stock market suffers worst outage in 8 years. All kinds of good stuff on
How
finance.
convenient is that? I wonder how the power could have gone out in London.
I don't know. Isn't that funny? Didn't you have a call about London today, Tank?
Did I have a call about it? I did hear that there were some things going on in banking, yeah.
And that was part of probably the fake RV that's coming out. They probably are releasing maybe a few funds, but it's not the real funds, right? Just to get people to run to the bank with their dinar and their Zim and all their other stuff.
I'm sure the crowd is going wild. Bras are being thrown everywhere in dinar land right now. They're like, oh my God, it's the RV, it's happening. No, it's not. It's not happening. What's happening is they're doing the same fraudulent garbage they've always done. And there's one person who's in control of the quantum system. And I can, if I were to take a guess, I haven't talked to him about this, I would bet that she shut off their access, and if they don't want to cooperate, she'll shut down the whole system. By the way, she could do that anytime. So she's been holding back for the benefit of the people. What they've done, these evil bastards, is they have threatened, tortured, lied, trafficked us, killed us, eaten us. They've done everything they can, and the worst, just as bad as all that is what they've done to the 4 people in the RV. They've lied to them, given them just enough education to think they're all experts, and then lied to them and said it's going to happen, and it's never going to happen. And if you just would come up a little bit higher, you'd realize that's an absolute fact. And anybody right now who has any real information knows the RV is never going to take place. Not like that. Currencies will level set over time.
Yeah.
But it certainly won't happen in this, blaze of glory of everybody going to
overnight, right? And their dims and there's dinars worth $8 a dollar or whatever. I sent that to you in chat, Tank. You want to pull that up?
In the Zoom chat?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Oh, well, I accidentally sent it to Archbishop privately, so I don't know why it came up that way, but
Oh boy!
it did.
Listen,
So.
don't send Archbishop any other pictures that you sent me privately. 'Cause that, you're
Oh,
awkward.
right, you're funny. Yeah, that's a whole
not
different
true.
show.
Lisa is a good
That's
girl.
not true. I've never sent it.
I'd ask, and she never said it.
Dang, you're so bad. Okay, it's now to everybody now. Even Dan can pull it up.
What?
You're right, Lisa. It's impressive.
Holy Bishop!
Thank you. I paid him to say that. I gave him my dinar.
That is wonderful. Okay.
I'm sorry there's no value to it, Archbishop, but that's all I got.
Okay, so what am I?
I love you anyway.
It's the central bank's article that Dan mentioned verbatim almost.
Yeah.
Verbatim.
But he made it. I think you wrote it, Dan.
Yeah, but my alias is Robert Burgess.
Yeah, that works.
Well, who's also Mike? You were talking about the RV people. Mike Cottrell. He's big on the on that as well. So
Mike
people follow
Cottrell.
Mike Cottrell. I don't know who he is. I only see his name on all the RV stuff.
Well, I'll tell you who he is.
Okay.
He is he was one of the lawyers from the they're suing for something for some wrong that was done to them, right? For
Mhm.
they should have gotten. And they're very professional for the most part. The things they put out, and very it's impressive when people hear about them. It's like, oh, Mike Cottrell came out. I called Mike Cottrell myself personally because somebody gave me his information, so I just called him. And I called him because we were about to file a lawsuit against Wells Fargo, and we had them on RICO law. We had so much information to show that they clearly had promised as an RV. We had given notice to the Treasury that this is what's being promoted. If this is not true, then you need to rectify it, right? Because we're about to file a civil suit. We had them on RICO. We had multiple people bring us information showing. Also, we also know that they paid off TNT Tony, right? They paid him $100,000 to
to keep the message flowing.
Right. So not only do we know that they did it, we also know it was intentional and fraudulent, right? So we were going to file a suit. Here was the problem. We didn't know who to file against because nobody knew who actually owned the bank, right? There was no names.
Was that the Wells Fargo?
Yeah. So I called Mike Cottrell, and I tell you, I've never felt a darker energy from any human being in my life. He was furious. I also was threatened by the security for the admiral, right? Because some other guy that had nothing to do with me texted the admiral like 250 times. I still think it's funny. They're like, "This is Tank. I'm going to do this to you. This is Tank. We're coming to get you." Right? Said all these things. So what they tried to do is they tried to set me up, right, to say something stupid in an email. And I wrote back very clearly, like, I have never done that. I had no part in that whatsoever. And they were trying to trip me up to use it against me. Nice try, guys, because I didn't do anything wrong. Okay. Now, that being said, Mike Cottrell, scary. So, markets are questioning central bank relevance. Oh my gosh, we're all questioning central bank relevance. So,
Yeah.
very interesting. Okay.
Sent you a couple more articles. One of them, the last one was on Wells Fargo, and then there was another one about the Treasury. It's about to hit $1 trillion deficit, Pink. So I sent you a few financial ones.
The Treasury, that's not possible under the fearless leadership of Mangina Mnuchin. He knows exactly what he's doing because everybody's willing to basically suck from the scraps of his table. It would just seem like he must be doing a great job, right?
Yeah.
No.
Come on, Tank.
They do not reward good work. What they want is obedience, submission. So you can imagine the kind of time that Mnuchin has spent on the knees to fulfill that prophecy.
Oh, Tank. We got to change the narrative of that. Yeah. We got to move on to something else. Dan, what do you have to input, Dan?
What do I have?
You can't
Okay.
talk like that.
So we could talk about the Federal Reserve and how irrelevant it is.
Okay, let's talk about that.
So let's go here. Then we'll hit the Federal Reserve. So Treasury is about to flood the market with a debt to fund U.S. $1 trillion deficit, and that is a concern. Wasn't the deficit like $18 trillion? So actually, that's great. It's only $1 trillion.
Yeah, something's not right.
I think that's an additional trillion.
Oh, a 1 trillion full. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
1 trillion
Yeah.
full year shortfall.
Yeah, so we need a little bit of like extra room on the credit card. Just give me an advance of about 1T. That should do it.
Well, you know what? Doesn't it seem odd that the debt is rising and the Federal Reserve is actually talking about going down to 0%
Interest rate.
interest
Well,
rates? Why on earth would the Fed? Wouldn't it be that if the Federal Reserve had 0% interest rate, mean that they're not making any money?
Well,
Does that sound like the Federal Reserve that we all know and love to hate?
As of some, I think just this last week, we can see that all the other central banks in like Germany and others, like a dozen of them, all went negative interest rate.
Mm-hmm. Mexico lowered their rate the first time in like 10 years or something. A lot
they're
of federal, yeah.
They're literally like minus 0.6 right now, 0.2, minus. So in other words, you borrow this much, and you have to return this much.
Wow. So they're trying to keep their fake money system. Now the reason why it's negative is because they don't have any money. Big deal. It's like me saying, like, hey, Dan, I'm going to charge you 1,000 frogs, but I'll give you 2,000 frogs. It doesn't matter. You know why, Dan? I don't have any frogs.
I really want those frogs because I really enjoy frog legs. And
Ew.
Frog legs, delicious. No.
You know where the first place I had frog legs?
On a bet, on a dare in Pennsylvania?
No.
Louisiana.
No. Denny's.
That's where I had them once.
Denny's
and only
restaurant.
Once. Ew.
A Chinese restaurant?
Denny's.
Oh.
Denny's?
Are you
Denny's.
sure they were frogs? How do you know what animal they were?
Yeah.
Dan, come
Oh
on.
no, they were frog legs. They were actually really big. They were like, I don't know, about 12 inches long. But it was Denny's in Singapore.
Oh.
Ah. A little bit different menu, apparently, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think our Denny's, local Denny's in the Northwest, has that.
Yeah, but you know what? It just tastes like chicken.
That's what they all say, yeah.
I've seen a lot of crazy things like that. The Chinese, I guess maybe all Asian cultures, they will eat pretty much anything. I was watching this thing on Facebook, and like this woman, like she found like a struggling baby bird, and she just goes, just stuck it in her mouth. Like, are you a person? Or are you like from that, that show V? How did you do that?
Ew.
Yeah. So let's talk about this for a second. So Wells Fargo closed their accounts, but the fees continue to mount.
Happened to me.
Give me the summary on this.
So this is a construction owner who had multiple accounts for his businesses with Wells Fargo, because we were talking about Wells Fargo a minute ago. And yet all his fees kept mounting up in his account, even though they closed all his accounts. So how does that happen? How does Wells Fargo charge a fee after they close all your accounts?
Yeah.
You know something? I don't think we can trust Wells Fargo. not to talk crazy, but Dan, what do you think about that?
Yeah, well, it happened to me. I closed an account, and it was Wells Fargo, and it was like 2 years later. I'm in another bank, and the other bank said, "Well, they're going to be turning over my money in my account to pay off this other thing with the banks, because the banks have this, if you owe another bank, they'll take it from yours and pay it off if you don't take care of it." I said, "What do you mean?" So it took me like 3 weeks to straighten it out. But I had to go into Wells Fargo, went back to the original, said, "I closed my account. Here it is. Why are you charging me fees?" And they were trying to collect those fees from the new bank I was in.
Wow.
I said,
No, at the new bank, they
At the
sent
new
them over
bank.
there. They sent it over there. I just sent you another one,
Yep.
Tink, on chat. Wow. On President Trump, this is an interesting one. If you pull up this next one, I want to see what you think on this, guys. I was a little confused by this. It might be just for show. Psyops.
Yeah. And what I think about that, because you asked me what do I think, I said I don't think it's nice.
No, Dan, you are right, and I appreciate your analysis on that.
It's very accurate.
Yeah. But there is some important things that are changing at Wells Fargo. I want to point those out real quick because I think this really it will explain. Um, I actually I had an $8,324,000 transfer that was done using a port-to-port system directly to Wells Fargo, to my account there. And I had the confirmation number and clarity, and they literally unplugged the port. And, in so doing, what they did is it allowed us to launch an FBI investigation on Wells Fargo, right?
Mhm.
So there's an actual Wells Fargo investigation based on my case. And let me tell you what they've done on it.
Look at your picture. Smells Fargo, dirty
They
cargo.
have done nothing, okay? Because they don't actually want the banks to be outed. So the FBI has done a crack job again of nothing. And
Well, who do you think they work for?
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that they worked. I'm not,
That's funny.
not this one.
I actually really like Archbishop's laugh. His laugh makes me laugh more.
Me too, especially when you realize Archbishop is a superhero, right? Because he has already been whipping the tail out of cancer, so he can pretty much do anything.
Yep.
He has carte blanche to come on any show on that anytime and just add his 2 cents. I like that. So all right. So what is this? Trump called the CEOs the biggest U.S. bank. Okay,
Yeah,
so
I want
I'm
to see
the
what Trump what you guys think about this one. Like, is this all just a psyops? What is going on?
What do you mean? This one here? Okay,
Mhm.
got it.
I want to hear.
Well, give us a summary. What is it?
Well, it says that Trump called the 3 biggest banks after the Dow dropped 800 points the other day. I think it was Chase and Bank of America, and I can't think of the third one, to see what the status was of our financial country. But I think he already knows. I think that's all just for show. That's what
Well, let me tell you how I picture the call going down.
Okay.
President Trump calls up like, "Hey, Jamie Dimon, how's business, biatch?" Because
That was beautiful.
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, because it's a psyop. It's not real, right?
Hey, Jamie Dimon, as your business, your whole banking system, and everybody else involved in the banking industry, as you are about to crash miserably and burn and be terrified of what's going to happen, because in your reality, you don't know what it's like to not have access to any money. But you know who does know? The 1.2 million people down in Florida that were left homeless, and your leaders didn't allow us to bring money in to help them. You know who else knows? The people that were vaporized by high heat energy devices from satellites in Paradise, California. You know who else knows? Half the freaking country who's struggling to get by while you dicks are doing nothing. And all you had to do was cooperate with us. So when this is done, I'm just thinking torches, pitchforks, something like that. Like it's actually needed.
We do not provoke violence here on this show, Tank. So
I'm not provoking violence. I just think that's a good time for
pitchforks and things.
Like, what do you
Okay, the third one is Citigroup. I didn't mention, but this is what they said. This is the interesting part. We're doing well, but they could be doing even better if issues including the China-U.S. trade war were resolved. This person said.
Oh.
So everything's blamed on China. First it was Russia, now it's all China and Trump, of course.
Well, it's based on us being mean to China. Trump is being very mean to China right now, so they don't like that.
I'm trying really hard. I cannot roll my eyes enough. Like
he's rolling his eyes and his head. It's like it's a big.
What? Like, are we really doing this still? Are we still playing this stupid game? Like, it's because Trump's a bad guy. He's doing business the way you do business, right? There's bad terms. He corrected them. He's killing it. He's killing China right now. They know it too. They're like, man, we've been getting away with murder. They know it, right? We've been paying for everything. That's why we pay like 50 times as much for the same pharmaceuticals as other countries, because they want to make sure everybody gets drugged up.
Oh, it's more than 50. Yeah, it is.
You gotta pay more for it.
Yeah.
Really get drugged up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a vicious cycle.
Right? But it's no different. It's what we're doing everywhere. But here's what I want to have happened. What I hope. Because Kim did tell us some time ago that she was going to sell back Chase Bank, Citibank, and Wells Fargo back to the governments for $1 and sell them back as a failed asset.
And
Now,
those are the three that Trump supposedly called on Wednesday.
Wait a minute.
Winky dink.
What are the chances? So I do want, for the record, now, my lawyer and I, we submitted a very formal proposal to purchase Chase Bank for $2. So she doubles her profits. So I'm just saying, my hope, oh my gosh, please, this will be my dream come true. Let's give us Chase Bank. Make Chase Bank the bank of the people, and we will make sure that projects get funded everywhere. It'll be magic. Now, granted, Chase is like the center for evil, right? So you really,
But we can turn them. We can turn them.
no, we're not. We're going to fire everybody. Everybody's gone. Every
Well, that's
single
what I
person,
meant. We can
except
turn
for,
the
like,
name
people
into
that-
something. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can't. Oh, yeah, you're right. We'll change it to something.
We'll
better.
make it good. We'll turn it into good juju, right? I think it's interesting that those are the three banks that she named. Maybe Trump called and just what you said, like, we bought you for $2. How's your economy? That'd be funny.
Bishop,
Okay.
you want to mute your video?
Well,
Me?
No, Bishop. I don't know if
Oh.
you oh, no.
He
Oh,
moved
you're
himself,
okay,
but it's
Bishop.
him.
I just want to make sure that I didn't know if you wanted to be there or not.
Did you want to be a star today?
You want to be? You don't have to be a star. Be in my show, Bishop. You are.
Okay, I'm going to send you something else, Tank. This one is really interesting. It just came out today, and I asked one of our people in our legal system, in our team, that's an attorney, and I'm going to send it to you. I want to get your take on this. So, as soon as I can get my little act together here, I will.
I think
Send
we're
it.
frozen. I think we're frozen.
No,
You know
we're
what?
not.
Is unfortunate. Like Dan looks pretty cool. He's frozen, but he looks cool. Me, I'm always making like the dumbest face in the world. like why am I making that face right now?
And now you know why I'm only on radio. Okay, I sent you this interesting meme. I'd like you to pull up.
Okay.
This will be amazing. I didn't know if it was true, so I asked one of our law people. I don't want to call them attorneys, just law people, and they said yes, it's true.
It's true.
If it were to happen, that this meme is true.
Okay. I'm
You trust me.
Of course.
I sent it to you in file. It's on the file. Send it to you in chat. Okay.
Oh, open file. The suspense is killing me. First of all, Dan, Archbishop, I want you to know, Lisa's got a dark side, so she's going to make fun of somebody here. So I'm just letting you know. I want you to be appalled by this.
I love her laugh too.
Thank you. I'm going to send you a meme on that one, actually. This one you'll love. After we talk about this serious one, I'll send you a cute one about laughing.
This one is not open for me yet.
Okay, I might be able to share my screen and pull it up here. Okay, let me do that.
Yeah, right.
Right? Okay, well, saying it and doing it are two different things. All right, so here I go. Hold on. I think I'm going to share.
The suspense is killing me. This is going to be,
drum roll.
I know. Dan, just up in heaven. I'm trying
Okay, here it is. Well, as soon as my computer wants to cooperate. All right, here we go.
Okay,
What do
I
you
got
think
it
of
right now.
this? Okay.
There it is. When a POTUS is found guilty of treason, President of the United States, their title of the presidency is completely stripped away, negating every executive order, judge appointee, everything they had ever done. Brace yourself.
Obama.
Obama is about to make history. Whoa! That is huge.
Isn't
Can you
that?
imagine?
So it was worth the suspense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
that's
checked
wrong.
with Jean Ann, and she said yes. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to get out of here, and just so I can see what her other response was to that. So I thought that was a pretty interesting comment.
Well, I was hoping it was going to pop up where he had proven he was not a U.S. citizen. So
Well,
then that would have
it's-
wiped away everything.
You know, I think you're psychic today, is what I think. This was her response. She said, I said, is this true? Before I wanted to share it. And she said, yes. And she said, it's also important to bear in mind that he never had any legitimacy as president, and as a consequence, that alone negates any executive order or appointees that he ever made during his presidency. Isn't that interesting?
Well,
Yeah.
but you know, here's the thing though. none of the presidents, they were all basically the presidents of a corporate structure, right?
Right.
Oh, right. That's true.
So
Good point.
in 2008, he was elected. In 2012, he still would have been president or president of the corporation until 2014 when that contract expired. And then in 2016, the election would have actually been the election for the republic. So Trump would be the first real president
The
we've had.
first real president.
I mean, I don't know since when, but long time.
Hundreds of years, I'd
18,
imagine.
1872.
I thought on the inauguration night that Trump said that he was the president of the republic.
I don't remember. We'll have to pull that up.
Yeah, I remember that Trump's inauguration speech was excellent. I mean, I wasn't a fan of him at the time, and but I was very impressed. That was the first time I was ever impressed with him speaking. You know, so,
Yeah.
I liked what he said yesterday when he said that Obama did him a favor. He gave him 139 judges to
Right.
put into power.
Yeah, I think
judges to put into power.
Well, I think
Yes.
yeah, because Obama never appointed any judges because I think they were purposely trying to gut the court system so that it would cause a breakdown. We couldn't process everything right through the court system because there was such a backlog. Just collapse the government from that point of view, from the legal side. So left a favor for Trump.
That really is incredible, right? Because they expected the next president to just toe the line, right? And they could have stalled forever because most of us are clueless about how these things actually work, right? So if you would have seen like Hillary Clinton as the president saying, these things are very sensitive and I don't take them lightly, we would have believed her, right? Because we would believe anything because they're safe. And like we don't have time because we're too busy, working 2 jobs and trying to keep our kids from getting vaccines and trying to make sure that Child Protective Services doesn't steal our kids. So they pretty much launched an all-out assault on every part of our life and well-being. That's the reality of what we had to deal with, right? So I'm very, very pleased. I just keep thinking about this. I fantasize about it, that the money is coming in through the people. Money is going to come in through the people. And then all of these governing bodies, basically we get to decide, right? Because that's the way the Constitution reads, that the government draws its authority from the governed.
That's one of my favorite things that you say. When you say that. Like, say that again. With the straight face. Can you use your deep, sexy, slow voice, though? Because it sounds better.
Now I'm just gonna watch. My voice will probably crack if I try to be deep and sexy right now.
Between the American Constitution and the Bill of Rights, those are 2 of the most powerful documents I have ever studied and read and used. And that's how I got everything that I wanted while I was in the States, with those 2 documents. The Bill of Rights and the Constitution, they're ahead of almost every other country in the world.
I think
I want to do something. I really want to do this. I want to launch this initiative with every single printing company and every single activist group out there in the country. I want us to do exactly what they did after the Declaration of Independence was written. I want us to print some copies of the Declaration of Independence, and I want us to take it and put it on every single American's door. And any person who can read that and still say that America was never great, or cannot say that there wasn't the intention there, or who can dare say that any right they have is not because of that launching document, then they should leave immediately. Because that document is so strong. It is for the people. Everything about it is making a declaration. We are sovereign. We are independent. That is not a terrorist movement. What's a terrorist movement is that you had this group come in, as the bar, cabal, secret society, this group. They are a terrorist organization, and they are violating our constitutional rights. And we should stand up every single time that happens, until they hear it so many times from so many people that after a while you have no choice but to enforce the actual Constitution, which is the law of the land. Because that's the reality. But people don't know it. We don't even teach it anymore in school, right? We teach you nonsensical bullshit statutes and making our kids worry about every time. What if I come to a rolling stop? What if I look at someone wrong? If a cop comes, am I allowed to actually say, listen, can I see your oath of office? Or am I going to get beat up for it? I'm going to get put in jail because how dare I'm resisting arrest now, right? None of those things are real laws. There is the law of the land is the Constitution, period.
My grandfather taught me the Constitution of the United States in Italian in Boca Raton, Florida, when I was a little boy. And I thought it was the most amazing document I had ever heard.
First of all, you guys did some amazing things when you were a kid. I definitely didn't do anything like that when I was a little boy.
It's
I
okay.
don't
It's
think I
not
knew
too
what
late
the
for you.
Constitution was.
It's okay, Tank. It's not too late for you.
Believe me, I don't mind. I'm trying to make up for it right now. Because you guys are old. So I figure I'll just keep going.
That's it.
Oh, I'm gonna, Tank, so I'm gonna embarrass you. No, I'm kidding.
Go
You've
ahead.
got a few years to catch up to us, Hank.
Just a couple. Yeah.
Tank, I sent you something in chat that's called Congress Pay. Can you pull that up? That's kind of interesting. I never knew that till today.
See, now Lisa set me up. This is going to be something that's going to
No, this is no. But I do have something I'm going to share that you did today.
Oh, good. Okay. Here we go. And let's see here. Bam. All right. Did you know the Founding Fathers originally only paid senators and representatives a per diem amount while in session? Why? Because the Founding Fathers knew that if Congress ever were to be paid salaries, which they could vote to increase themselves, then Congress would no longer be of the people, but rather above the people. They wanted those in Congress to be subject to the same economic and financial conditions as the rest of the nation based upon the laws they passed. That is genius.
Yes.
Can you imagine? Imagine what would be possible if they were every law that was passed was considerate of them and their families as well.
Well, now
And
we
transparent.
need to expand that to also includes, well, we give foreign aid to all these countries, and then the Congress, people in Congress and Senate get kickbacks from wherever they sent the aid.
Yeah.
They probably get a percentage back, don't they?
Yeah, that's why they want to. That's why they want to help all these other countries. It's not because they want to help the countries, because they want to get a kickback.
Yeah.
Yep. Agreed.
All these things. At least
Well, this.
we.
Yeah, it's.
Go ahead.
I just say, yeah, it's like also they are not affected by laws that say insider trading laws, so they can do insider trading. Right?
Congress can, right?
Congress can, yeah. So they're above us. That they've built that into the system that they're above us. So
Oh, that's what Nancy Pelosi did. Clearly.
Clearly.
yeah. Well, how
Nancy Pelosi.
about this? You remember all of the CFL light bulbs? So they got rid of all of the regular incandescent light bulbs, and you all had to buy these fluorescents, right? But the fluorescents suck. Right?
They're
But
they're
Very
unhealthy too,
healthy,
right?
too.
yeah, and they're unhealthy for you. But who made all the money? Was the people selling the patents on these light bulbs that kind of were in the CFL form factor of the incandescents. So they made it the law so that they make a lot of money. So you can trace back, say, Nancy Pelosi's husband and find out, he's the one that actually had the patents.
Wait, so this is how Nancy Pelosi made the $700 million she's actually worth,
Yeah.
while she's been a sitting congresswoman for the past 35 years.
Yeah.
I think it's been 135. She looks like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that she was a lawyer that represented Jesus.
Her and Betsy Ross used to battle it out.
Really, really bad. So that's interesting. Yeah, so, it just seems to me like even government's filled with people that are corrupt. I don't know. I mean, I'm going out there, but I feel like the more we talk on the show, it's harder and harder to find good guys. So,
Yeah,
well,
agreed.
believe it or not,
Yeah, well, I had a friend who was a congressman, and he's not in there anymore, but for good, I guess, 15 years he was in there. And he said that, it was only like 20% of the people in there were for the people. The elected officials were for the people. The rest of them were all on the take.
Yes, I do believe that's That's a very generous number, but I hope that's true. Actually, that's encouraging. I hope there is 20% of the people in the government.
Well, that was also back then, so
Oh.
it may. I think it probably got worse, along the way, because you get all these freshmen that come in. He was a freshman when he came in, so he came with a bunch of freshmen. Those freshmen were all fresh off the boat, ready to go, and they got up against the deep state, and they followed the path to the dark side. Hey.
Well, in many cases, as we know from People Magazine did an article. I'm sorry, they never actually published the article. And People Magazine invested $1 million in 1989 to investigate George H.W. Bush and Dick Cheney for bringing children from an orphanage into the White House, drugging them, then raping them, then drugging the freshman congressman, and then showing them how to rape them, and then filming the congressman raping those children. Right? Because the drug is, you call it some voodoo formula, right? That basically
In the White House?
At the White House.
Yeah.
In the White House, yes, Bishop, that is true. And this all happened now. People Magazine, they proved this beyond a shadow of doubt. $1 million. They were going to run it, and the White House called them and told them not to. Which I would have been like, hey, White House, you can suck it because this is about you. Of course you're going to say no on it. But, but there's ample evidence. But $1 million in an article in 1989 was unheard of. I mean, that's a tremendous amount of research. So you can imagine the accuracy of that. It was very well researched. And that was when People Magazine was actually, very reputable. I mean, I don't even know if they are now. So, but we know that they respond to threats, at least.
Speaking of Congress people, I sent you a Trump tweet. Will you pull that one up, Tank?
I will. Indeed.
It's called Trump's tweet, and then I actually tweeted him back. I'll share with you what that is too. It's below it. But we'll pull up his tweet.
Okay, this says Lisa's tweet.
No, do Trump's first,
got it, first,
and then my response. I'm waiting for him to respond. He hasn't responded yet, but I just wanted to see what you guys think.
Okay, you got it. There we go. President Trump tweets, it would show great weakness if Israel allowed Representative Omar and Representative Tlaib to visit. They hate Israel and all Jewish people, and there is nothing that can be said or done to change their minds. Minnesota and Michigan will have a hard time putting them back in office. They are a disgrace.
Okay.
Wow.
So they're not. So they have family there, and they were going to go, and Israel cut them out. They can't. So I think Tlaib has a grandmother in somewhere there, and she's not allowed to go visit. They've outed him out of the country. So if you pull up my tweet, you'll see what I responded to our president to see if he would
good.
take my offer into consideration.
You got it. So this is from our very own.
Inside.
Inside, Mr. President, they are also a disgrace to our country. Oh, good point. Is it possible to ban them from coming back into America? Asking.
So I'm waiting for him to respond. I'm hoping he responds quickly.
I think that's great. That is
Do you think he will?
Very, very smart question.
Lisa, you should do it in Spanish too for Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh yeah, I don't know if I could. I'll have to plan that one in advance. But I can read in Spanish like crazy. I don't always know what I'm saying, but I will. I will do it in Spanish, and I will send her. I'll do it for her.
Okay. That was a good one. That was a good response. Hopefully, we should try to make that go viral.
Yeah. So I'm hoping he responds soon. I don't know what he's waiting for. I don't know. He's not that busy. But he has to ignore me. But anyway, there's that. Okay, Tank. I also sent you Tank's tree. Why don't you share that with us today? That was really amazing what you did today. It's my way of embarrassing you, by the way.
No, I don't mind. It's fine. I was going to use it to try to explain. So we've been talking about how we're going to save the world, change the world, right? Mm-hmm. And so this, if it loads up, we'll see. So we've been talking about how we're going to change the world, and Kim had mentioned, that she was looking for plans. So I was trying to think of a creative way to communicate that idea. So here we go. Let's see if it comes up. So I thought this would be a fun way to do it. So I started to draw it out today. And here it is. Let's see.
Very cool.
So this is beneath the surface of the earth, right? From the roots up. And the woman is symbolic of all of humanity and Gaia, right? The source, the torus energy field within the earth. And now you can't see the words yet, but it says everything has to come from love, right? Love, trust, and the ability to create. And then the other words are over here, but you can't get to them yet. The whole idea is that you have this basic structure, the pyramid there, and the pyramid is here. That's the old Gar. And then up from the roots is this tree of life, which represents the people and all of our efforts, where everything is coming from love. And you have these core principles of the, the legal side, of the media, being a truth in media, the safety and security provided by our veterans and respect for them, healthcare that actually cares about our health, a financial system that we can actually trust when we become the bank. That's what all these words are written beneath. And the whole idea is that this system, if we build it from love and in respect to the actual planet itself and the people, and also, source above, right? So you have source within the earth, source within us, source above. And if you allow those things to grow up from the roots from a place of love, with the best intent for all the people, then you would have this incredible, massive tree that would go right up through the midst of the old system and destroy it along the way. And in its place, you would have the people would make up the crown. And all the fruits that would be created by this tree would essentially, be returned back to the planet and back to the people, and would be the people. And that would be inventions and projects and a million different things that would come to fruition because of, because of who we are. Because of, actually building from the roots up, building the right way of the world. That's the whole idea.
Wow.
Yeah, I gotta work on the elevator pitch on it. But,
That was great. That was incredible talent. You did that all today, right? Fast motion, slow motion. Well, you did it in normal, and then you
it's
speeded
amazing.
it up.
It's amazing. I've never done that before. That was 2 hours of drawing.
And down to 2 minutes.
Yeah, but I always wanted to do it, so it's cool.
It's very cool. I love that. That
So
was
how
awesome.
did you take the video? Is it like stop motion, or it like took a photo
Yeah,
every?
it's called hyperlapse. On I have an Android now and it says hyperlapse, like a Galaxy 9. So I tested it out and it worked pretty good. Probably should change my angle or something,
Good.
but fun stuff. Right.
Very cool. I loved it.
Well, I think I'm going to have to leave. The people are knocking at the door.
No problem, Dan. We will
Yeah.
end the show. And appreciate it. Thanks so much for hanging out with us.
Yeah, I know.
Archbishop, always a good time. Always a good
Wait, we
time.
have one more I want to show Archbishop. One more thing I say.
Okay,
It's called
no
Make Her
problem.
Laugh, because we were talking about laughing. Dan, you
Oh,
can go if you have to.
I got it. Wait. Is it the one?
It's okay.
that you
Yeah,
said?
it's called Make Her
I
Laugh.
was,
Because
I was going to show it anyways. Hang on.
okay, it's very
Uh,
cute.
This is very cute. This, I love this. This is a great way to end the show for today.
It is.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where'd it go?
It's up. Uh-huh.
Oh, so weird. It's on my screen. Lisa, can you read that? Because I
Yes.
can't see it.
They told me that to make her fall in love, I had to make her laugh. But every time she laughs, I'm the one who falls in love. Not fun.
That's how it works.
I love love. Oh, it's all mush. I love it.
We're all a bunch of saps on this show.
All right.
Well,
It makes the world go round. There's so much negativity and animosity and manipulation. Love is the only way to go. Anything
You're
else
right.
doesn't
That's
have
right.
anything to do.
You know what? I'll tell you, I had a very angry speech planned, but now that the bishop said that, I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Dan,
All right. Thank you,
Not
guys.
really.
Thanks for coming on, Archbishop. Thanks, Dan.
all right. Thank you, everyone. Be sure to
Good night.
subscribe and share.
Finish what you were going to say, Hank. Finish what you were going to say.
I will. Finish what I was going to say. I got to tell you, I love this country.
Oh.
I love
So
it.
do I.
Well, we can't read it. Your head's blocking it. Lean to your right or left.
The heart is the point, right?
Okay.
What I do, I love that I got to grow up here. I'm a environment. I love a million things about this country. You know, I love the idea of what this country actually is. That's what I love. Now, when people attack an idea, it's like talking about your mom, right? Like you've crossed the line. Like people are attacking an idea that is sacred to all of us. There's documents. The Constitution is sacred to all of us. Now, we have to go back in and look and realize why. Because until they take everything from us, we won't realize how amazing it was. And you know what they'll do then? They'll destroy it. And they'll hide it. You'll never even know what it was. It'll just be something you heard about in legends and myths, right? We have to stand up together. And I'll tell you, that makes me so happy to know. I'm very pleased to know we have a place where we can stand together. But we have to really commit to doing it. Because if we don't stand together, right, we're just going to get run over. Now, I use this example all the time. I need to draw this out maybe so people can appreciate it. But when you have one person standing and everybody else is on their face and on their knees, bowed down, you would think that person is a god. You would think that person is impossible to overcome. But one person stands up and they realize they're looking at them right in the eye. And they can see exactly who they are. They realize they're nothing. They might even be taller. And then you have a few more people stand up. And after a while, when everybody's standing up, you realize the one that we are all worshiping as a God is nothing. It's a joke that we were on our knees in the first place. But that's where we've got to get you now. Get up off your knees. Every government official, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Get off your knees to these people. They're nothing.
Every country in the world is envious of the United States. Everybody leaves their countries to become part of the United States. The caravans coming from the south, people coming over through Canada, trying to get through to Canada to get through to the States, to the American border.
Oh, we got to put up a wall.
The rainbow through Niagara Falls. You know, I've seen so many people walk across that bridge with nothing, and because they want to stay on the other side of that bridge.
Wow.
They walk across with their passport, and that's it. They go across Niagara Falls, and I've been on the other side of the bridge, and people say, I made it, I'm in the USA, you know?
We got to watch out for those Canadians.
I know. Build a wall again.
My grandfather was born in Holyoke, Massachusetts in 1898. And I've lived as much in the United States as I have in Canada. I've lived in both countries, and I love the States. I love the mentality there. People are friendly, and the people are very accepting.
Well, I've been calling the Canadians from the northern states, you know, and it's part.
Yeah.
It's part.
I agree.
It's part. No, we're buying Greenland, so we might as well go ahead and throw Canada into the mix. Maybe not Quebec. Maybe not Quebec.
Not fair. I was born in Quebec.
No, I'm joking anyway.
We're going to wrap this up, and everybody, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to repeat something I tell my son all the time, is be yourself and make that mean something. And I think that's the same thing I would say to every single person in America today, is be yourself and make that mean something. We have to remind ourselves what that means. So, everybody, thanks so much. Lisa, thanks for softening up the rough exterior of all these guys.
Thank you,
everybody
guys.
have a great night.
All right. Good night, Tank.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.